In this video, we will discuss some common families of graphs, regular graphs and connected graphs. So, let me start with an important family of graphs called complete graph. So, a complete graph denoted by Kn on n vertices is a simple graph with an edge between every pair of vertices. So, why is it called a family? So it is a family because we can define the complete graph for any values of n, where n is the number of vertices. So this is the definition of a complete graph. A complete graph denoted by Kn on n vertices is a simple graph with an edge between every pair of vertices. So let me go through some examples. Okay, let's consider say K1. So by definition, number of vertices is 1, and K1 is going to be a complete graph with one vertex with an edge between every pair of vertices. So since we are dealing with simple graph, so K1 is represented by a single dot. So let's look into K2. So K2, it has two vertices and edge between every pair of vertices. So this is how K2 looks like. Okay. So let's look into K3. So by definition it has three vertices and there is an edge between every pair of vertices. So there will be an edge between these two vertices, and these two vertices. Okay. So K3 is sometimes called a triangle. It looks something like a triangle. Okay, so that's why it is called a triangle. So let's look into two more. K4. So in K4 we have four vertices and let's add edge between each pair of vertices. Okay, then an edge between these two and edge between these two. Okay, so this is K4. So it has four vertices and an edge between each pair of vertices. Okay, let's look into one more. K5. So it has 5 vertices and edge between each pair of vertex. Okay, so let's count the number of edges in each case. So for K1, number of edges is 0. For K2, the total number of edges is 1. For K3, the total number of edges is 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And for K4, the total number of edges is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for K5, number of edges is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we need to add two more, 9, 10. Okay, so these are some examples of first 5 values. Okay, so in this case you can see that for an arbitrary graph with n vertices, the total number of edges will be n into n minus 1 divided by 2. Okay, and this is how we got this thing. So if you consider a particular vertex, it is connected to n minus 1 other vertices. Okay, so this is true for each and every vertex in the graph. Okay, so the total number will be like n into n minus 1. And here again we can see that when considering this edge, it is counted twice. Once you consider this vertex and another time when you consider this vertex. So there is an overcounting of 2, and because of that reason we have to divide by 2. Okay, so this is what a complete graph is. Okay. So another important family, common family of graph is called a null graph. Okay, null graph is a graph with no edges. Okay. For example, if n equal to 1, so it's a single dot, no edge. For n equal to 2, we have two dots and no edge in the graph, because a null graph is a graph with no edges. Okay, for n equal to 3, you can see that it contains only 3 dots. Okay, so this is how we define an empty graph. And here we can see that by definition, the size or the cardinality of E is 0. Okay. And next important family is what is called a bipartite graph. So this is how it is defined: a graph where the vertex set can be partitioned, okay, into two sets V1 and V2, such that for every edge UV element of V, okay, we have U element of V1 and V element of V2. Okay, let me give one or two examples. So here the most important thing is that we partition the vertex set into two sets V1 and V2. Okay, and we introduce edge between vertices in V1 and V2. Okay, no other edges. Okay, so let's consider an example. Okay, suppose that this is my V1 and this is my V2. So in this case, our vertex set will be V1 union V2. Okay, let me label this as something like A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case, V1, the first partition contains A, B, C, and my second partition contains 1, 2, 3, okay, 4. So these are my partitions V1 and V2, and we can have only edge between the vertices in V1 and V2. Okay, so we can have edge like this. Okay, edge like this. Okay, so here we can see that the edges are only between V1 and V2. Okay, so this is an example of what is called a bipartite graph. So in this case, if you add one more edge here, okay, it is no more a bipartite graph. It violates the definition. Okay, so here we can see that there is an edge between two vertices in our V2 set. So this is an example of what is not a bipartite graph. Okay, so let me undo. So this is an example of a bipartite graph, and we consider this graph, say, okay, so suppose that this is my V1 part and this is my V2 part. Okay, so in this case we can see that this edge violates this condition, that every edge UV element of V has U element of V1 and V element of V2. Okay, so this is an example of a non-bipartite. Okay, and similar with complete graph, we can define what is called a complete bipartite graph. So in this case, we have every possible edge between the two sets of the vertices. So let me give an example. Suppose that this is my V1 set and this is my V2 set. So this is my V1 and this is my V2. So for a complete bipartite graph, okay, we should have every possible edge between the two sets of the vertices. So from this vertex, there will be an edge to each and every vertex in V2, and from this vertex, we should have edge to each and every possible vertex. So this is how a complete bipartite graph look, and usually this is denoted by K, M, N, where M is the cardinality of V1 and N is the cardinality of V2. Okay, so This example corresponds to K2 3 because the cardinality of V1 is 2 and cardinality of V2 is 3. Okay, so let me give one or two more examples. Okay, let's consider say K1 3. Okay, so our first part has only a single vertex, and the second part or our V2 set, it has 3 elements, and since we are dealing with a complete bipartite graph, so there will be an edge between this vertex and every other vertex here. Okay, so this is K13, and let me give one more example, say K2 2. So our first part has 2 vertices and second part has 2 vertices. So this is our V1 and this is our V2. So from this one we have edge to each and every vertex in V2. Similarly from here we have edge to each and every vertex in this. So this is the K22 bipartite graph. Okay, so in this case we can see that, okay, if we consider this K23, and if you count the total number of edges here, so it will be 2 times 3. Okay, 6 in this case. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So if you consider K13, the cardinality of E is 1 into 3, which is equal to 3. Okay, and if you consider K22, the cardinality of E is 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. Okay, so 1 2 3 4. So in general, what we can say is, if you consider a general complete bipartite graph Kmn, where the cardinality of V is m and cardinality of V2 is n, the total number of edges will be m times n. Okay, so it's very easy to see why mn. So another common family of graph is what is called a path graph. So it is defined as follows: a path graph denoted by P sub n is a graph where the vertices can be arranged in a sequence. Okay, I will give an example very soon, such that the edge set is vi plus 1, where I goes from 1 to n. Okay, so for example, let's consider say P2. So by definition we have 2 vertices. Can it be say V1 V2? Okay, and the edges are between Vi and Vi plus 1. So there is an edge between V1 and V2. Okay, so this is what P2 is. Okay, so P3, so by definition we have 3 vertices. Let me call them V1 V2 V3, and we have edges between Vi and Vi plus 1. So there will be an edge between V1 and V2, V2 and V3. Okay, so it looks something like a path. That's why it is called a path graph. Okay, let's look into one more example, P4. So by definition we have 4 vertices. Let me call them V1 V2 V3 V4. Okay, so the edges by definition, okay, there will be one between V1 and V2 and another one V2 V3 and V3 V4. Okay, so let's count the number of edges in this case. So if we consider P2, the cardinality of E is 1. If we consider P3, the cardinality of E is 2, and if we consider P4, the cardinality of E is 3. Okay, so very easily you can see that if we consider a path graph with n vertices, the number of edges will be n minus 1. Okay, and next common family of graph is what is called a cycle graph. A cycle graph denoted by Cn, and it is defined only for n greater than or equal to 3, is a graph where the vertices can be arranged in a cyclic sequence. So it is going to be a cyclic sequence. So I will give an example very soon, such that the edge set in E is vi plus 1, okay, similar to path in some sense, where I goes from 1 to n minus 1, and in order to complete the cycle we add one more edge from v1 to vn. Okay, so let's look into examples. Let's consider C3. So by definition we have three vertices. Let it be say v1, v2, v3, and the edges are defined like this: vi plus 1 for I equal to 1 to n minus 1. Okay, union v1, v2. So there will be an edge between v1, v2, v2, v3, and v1, v3. Okay, so here v1, v3 corresponds to this set v1, vn. Okay, so this is how K3 C3 looks. So here again you can see that it is equal to K3. Okay, a complete graph on three vertices. Okay, so let's look into one more example, C4. So by definition we have four vertices. Let me call them v1, v2, v3, v4. So let me introduce the edges. So there will be an edge between v1, v2, v2, v3, v3, v4, and the final edge. So this is how a C4 looks. Okay, so again let's count the number of edges. So if we consider C3, the number of edges is 1, 2, 3. If we consider C4, the size of the graph or the cardinality of E is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see that if you consider a general cycle graph with n vertices, the number of edges will be equal to n. Okay. So another common family of graph is what is called a wheel graph. So this is how it is defined. A wheel graph denoted by Vn, it has n plus 1 vertices, and let's call that v0, v1 up to vn. So in order to build the wheel graph, what we do is we arrange and connect the last n vertices in a cycle, something like the rim of a wheel, and place v0 in the center, the hub, and connect it to every other vertex. For example, let's consider say W3. So by definition it has four vertices. So let the vertices be v0, v1, v2, v3. Okay, so after that what we do is we arrange and connect the last n vertices. So we consider these three vertices v1, v2, v3. Okay, similar to the cycle graph. So this is, let it be say v1, v2, v3, and we connect these vertices by edges. Okay, then we place the v0 here, and we connect v0 to all other vertex. So this is W3. Okay, so let's look into one more example, W4. So W4, it has 5 vertices, and let it be say v0, v1, v2, v3, v4. So it is this is how it is defined. So we arrange the last 4, v1 up to v4, v1, v2, v3, v4, and we form a cycle graph with those vertices, and we place v0 at the center. So this is v0, and we connect v0 to all other vertices by an edge. Okay, so let's count the number of edges in all these cases. Let's consider W3. In W3, the number of edges is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and if you consider W4, the cardinality of E is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so in general you can see that if you consider an arbitrary graph with n vertices, the number of edges will be equal to n plus n, which is 2n, and here this first n comes from this cycle, and the second n comes from all these inner vertices. Okay. So another important family of graph is what is called a star graph. A star graph denoted by st sub n, it has n plus 1 vertices, v equal to v0 up to vn, and n edges, and here the edges are defined like v0 v1 v0 v2 v0 v3. It is somewhat similar to the wheel graph. Okay, the thing is that we don't have that outer cycle. So for example, okay, let's consider st3. So in this case we have 4 vertices, let them be say v0 v1 v2 v3. Okay, so what we do is we place v0 here, and we place v1 here, v2 here, and v3 here. Okay, so this is how a star graph looks. So this is 3 sub 3. Okay, similarly st sub 4, okay, will be pictorial represent like this, v0, and we have 4 more vertices, v1 v2 v3 v4. Okay, so let's count the number of edges here. The cardinality of he for st sub 3 is 1 2 3, and for this st sub 4 we have 1 2 3 4. Okay, so in general we consider an arbitrary star graph with n vertices. The number of edges will be equal to n. So another common family of graph is called a cube graph. A cube graph is denoted by q sub n in n dimensions. Okay, we will see what this n dimensions mean. Okay, it has 2 to the n vertices, and so in this case the common thing what we do is we index the vertices by binary numbers of length n. Okay, that's why we say it has dimension n, and we connect 2 vertices when their binary numbers differ by exactly 1 digit. So this is an example of what is called Q3, a cube graph of dimension 3. Okay, dimension 3 means it has 2 to the 3 vertices, 8 vertices. So these are those 8 vertices, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and these vertices are labeled by binary numbers of length n. So here we are dealing with Q3 or a 3 cube. So we consider binary strings of length 3. So this is 0 0 0 0 0 1, okay, and 0 1 0 and so forth. And we connect 2 vertices when their binary numbers differ by exactly 1 digit. Okay, for example, if you consider say 1 0 1, so it will be connected to 0 0 1. Okay, so if you consider 1 0 1, there is 1. Okay, 1 0 1. Okay, you can see that 1 0 1 is connected to 0 0 1 because these 2 bit strings differ in exactly 1 position. Okay, in this case it differ here. Okay, similarly this will be connected to 1 1 0. So this is the bit where they differ, 1 1 0. Sorry. So here we can see that these 2 bit strings differ in 2 bits, right? 1, okay, here and here. So there won't be an edge between these 2. Okay, so 1 0 0. So here we can see that these 2 bit strings differ here. Okay, so it is connected to okay, 1 0 0, and one more 1 1 1. Okay, so we can see that if we consider this bit string 101, it is connected to 001, 100, and 111. So if you look into these 3 bit string, you can see that okay, differ from this bit string in an exactly 1 bit position. Okay, so this is how Q3 or 3 cube looks. Okay, so let's draw Q2. Okay, so the number of vertices in this case will be 2 squared, which is equal to 4. So we have 4 dots. Okay, and these 4 dots will be labeled by binary strings of length 2. So this will be labeled 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, and we introduce edges between these vertices if the binary number differ by exactly 1 digit. So we can see that okay, these 2 binary strings differ in exactly 1 bit position. Okay, the last bit. So there will be an edge from here to here. And similarly, there will be an edge from here to here, and we can see that there won't be an edge between 0 0 and 1 1. Okay, they differ in a exactly 2 bit position. Okay, similarly you can see that there will be an edge between 1 0 and 1 1 because they differ in exactly 1 bit position, and there will be an edge between these 2. Okay, and there won't be an edge between 0 1 and 1 0. Okay, because they differ in exactly 2 bit position. So this is how a K2 looks like. Okay, so here again if you count the number of edges, so let's consider Q2. Number of edges is 1 2 3 4, and here for Q3 the number of edges will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay, so in general if you consider a cube of dimension n or n cube, the cardinality of E will be like, so in this case we can see that if we consider say this vertex 0 1 0, it is connected to 3 other vertex. Okay, for example if you consider an arbitrary bit string of length n, okay, you can see that it will be connected to n other bit strings. Because what we can do is, okay, you take a particular bit string and you can start flipping 1 bit at a time, and when you flip a bit, okay, it will differ from the original bit string by exactly 1 bit. Okay, so that says if you consider a particular, if you fix a bit string, you can see that it will be connected to n other bit strings. Okay, so each vertex will be connected to n other vertices. So if you consider Q2, we can see that this vertex is connected to 2 other vertices, and here if you consider Q3 and if you consider this vertex 1 1 1, we can see that it is connected to 3 other vertices, this one and this one. Okay, so if you consider Qn, we can see that if you look into a particular vertex, it is connected to n other vertices. Okay, and since we have 2 to the n vertices, so the total number of edges will be 2 to the n times n, and here again we can see that there will be an overcounting. So if we consider a particular bit, we can see that that particular bit will be counted twice, once you consider this vertex and another time when you consider this vertex. So there is an overcounting, so you have to divide by 2. So the total number will be like n into 2 to the n minus 1. So we can see that this term, it agrees with Q3 and Q2, right? So for Q2 n is 2, 2 into 2 to the n minus 1, 2 minus 1, which is equal to 2 into 2, 4. Similarly, if you consider Q3, so the number of edges will be 3 times 2 to the 3 minus 1. So it will be like 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, so it agrees with this and this. Okay, so this is what a cube graph is. Okay, so let's move into what is called a regular graph. So before giving the definition of the regular graph, let me give some basic definitions of what is called a neighborhood of a vertex in G. Okay, so let's consider a vertex V in a graph G, the open neighborhood. So it will become clear soon. The open neighborhood of V in G is denoted something like this: n sub G of V is the set of vertices that is adjacent to V. Okay, so let me give an example. So let's consider this graph. And let me label those vertices as A, B, C, D, E. So let's consider vertex D. Okay, so in this case V is D. Okay, and let this graph be G. Then the open neighborhood of D in G, okay, it is going to be equal to the set of all vertices adjacent to D. Okay, so if we consider this vertex, we can see that A is adjacent to D. So n sub GD contains A. B is adjacent to D, so this set contains B. And C is adjacent to D, so this set contains C. And one more, E. Okay, and similarly, if you consider another vertex A, so the open neighborhood of A will be equal to, so B is adjacent to A, so it contains B. D is adjacent to A, so this set will contain D, and E is adjacent to A, so this set will contain E. So the open neighborhood of A is equal to set B, D, E. Okay, and similarly we can define what is called a closed neighborhood. So a closed neighborhood is denoted like this: n sub G, within square brackets we put the vertex under consideration. So it is nothing but the open neighborhood of V union V. Okay, for example, in this case the open neighborhood of vertex set D will be equal to n sub GD union D. Okay, so it will be like set A, B, C, E union set D. Okay, so it is equal to A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so this is how we define the closed neighborhood. Okay, so once we have this definition, we can define what is called the degree of a vertex V. Okay, and the degree of the vertex is defined to be the cardinality of the open neighborhood of G. Okay, so in this case the degree denoted by DEG of D will be equal to the cardinality of the open neighborhood of D. Okay, so the open neighborhood of D contains these four elements A, B, C, E. So that says the degree of D is 4. Okay, so we can see that the degree is nothing but the number of adjacent vertices to D. Okay, and similarly you can also see that the degree of A is the cardinality of the open neighborhood of A, which is equal to 3. Okay, so let me write the degrees above each vertex. So if you consider A, the degree is 3. If you consider B, the degree is 1, 2, 3. And if you consider C, again the degree is 3. And if you consider E, the degree is 3. And if you consider D, the degree is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is how we define the degree of a graph. So once we have the definition of the degree, we can define what is called a regular graph. So a graph is said to be R regular if the degree of each vertex is equal to R. Okay, so it is true for all V element of capital V. Okay, so a graph is said to be regular if the degree of each vertex is same. Okay, so in general we call a graph R regular if the degree of each vertex is equal to R. Okay, so let's look into some examples. So let's consider a very simple example. So this is what we called K3 or C3. Okay, so in this case you can see that the degree of this vertex is 2, degree of this vertex is 2, degree of this vertex is 2. Okay, so this is an example of what is called a 2 regular graph. Okay, and similarly if you consider P1, so here again you can see that the degree of this vertex is 1 and the degree of this vertex is 1. So it's an example of what is called a 1 regular graph. Okay, and another example is, say, let's consider K4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have edges between each and every pair of vertices. Okay, so here you can see that the degree of this vertex is 3 and degree of this vertex is 3 and degree of this vertex is 3 and this vertex is 3. So the K4 is an example of what is called a 3 regular graph. Okay, again you can see that if you consider a complete graph on n vertices, Kn, okay, each vertex is connected to n minus 1 other vertices, right? So if you consider Kn, the complete graph on n vertices, okay, it is going to be n minus 1 regular. Okay, so for K4, okay, it is an example of what is called a 3 regular graph. Okay, so these are some examples of regular graphs. So let me give an example of a graph that is not regular. So if you take K4 and add 2 more vertices and these edges. Okay, so in this case you can see that the degree of this vertex is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, and say one more here. Okay, I think there is no need for that. The degree of this is 4, this is 4, okay, this is 4. Okay, and here if you consider the degree of this one, degree is 2, degree of this is 2. Okay, so here we can see that we have vertices of degree 4 and vertices of degree 2. So this is not a regular graph. So I think you understood what a regular graph means. Okay, and in a graph, okay, we usually denote the minimum degree by small Greek letter delta and the maximum degree by capital delta, capital Greek letter. For example, if you have a graph something like this, okay, here you can see that the degree, okay, let this be the graph G and degree of this node or this vertex is 1, this is 3, this is 2, this is 2. Okay, so in this case small delta of G, which is the minimum degree, is equal to 1 and the maximum degree, the capital delta, is equal to 3, the maximum degree. Maximum is 3 here, right? Okay, let me give one more example. Okay, let's consider this graph. Okay, and let it be say G1. So the degree of this node is 0, and the degree of this node or this vertex is 2, this vertex 2, this vertex 2. So in this case, small delta of G1 is equal to 0 and capital delta of G1 is equal to 2. Okay, and here again we can see that for a R regular graph, small delta is equal to capital delta, which is equal to R. Okay. So one more definition of what is called a connector graph. So let me draw a connector graph, then I will explain with, the definition with that example. So let's consider this graph, and let it be say G. A graph G is connected if for every pair of distinct vertices UV there is a path from U to V in G. Okay, so let me label the vertices as say A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so in this case you can see that if you consider say these two vertices A, E, okay, you can find a path between A and D. Okay, one such path is this one, A to B followed by B to D, D to E. Okay, this is one path. You can also find many different paths here. For example, you can go from A to B, from B to C, okay, from C to D, and D to E. Okay, so the only thing is that there exists a path from U to B. Okay, and for every pair of distinct vertices U and V, if you are able to find such a path, then we call that graph a connector graph. Okay, so in this case you can see that A to E we already done. Okay, let's consider AC. Okay, again you can see that you can find a path between A and C. Okay, AD you can find a path. Okay, so you can see that if you consider G here, you can find a path from each vertex to every other vertex. So this is an example of what is called a connected graph. So let me give an example of an unconnected graph or disconnected graph. Okay, so let's consider this graph. Let me call that G1 and let me label that graph as something like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So this is an example of what is called a disconnected graph. So we can see that this graph is not connected because if you consider these two pairs A and F, you can see that you cannot reach F from A. Okay, there is no direct path from A to F. So this is an example of what is called a disconnected graph. So anyway, we will look into connected graph more detail in subsequent lectures. Okay, so hope this video explained some important families of graphs, okay, regular graphs and connected graph.